In the early years of World War II, the Imperial Japanese Navy ruled the Pacific with unmatched confidence. Their carriers, their pilots, their training, and their tactics were considered the finest in the world. To many Japanese officers, the Americans were slow, clumsy, and incapable of producing high-quality weapons. And nothing reflected this arrogance more than their reaction to a new American torpedo bomber, the TBF Avenger. When this aircraft first appeared on Pacific airstrips and Australian bases, Japanese sailors burst into laughter. They mocked it for being heavy, ugly, and slow. They joked that such a bulky machine could never survive the chaos of naval warfare. Pilots made fun of its speed, sailors ridiculed its size, and even senior commanders confidently declared that if the Americans were relying on a plane like this, then they clearly had no understanding of what a real war demanded. But history has a strange way of turning mockery into regret, and arrogance into catastrophe. The Avenger, despite its awkward shape, carried something inside that would change the destiny of the Pacific, a role no one on the Japanese side had imagined. The moment came at Midway, perhaps the most decisive battle in naval history. In June 1942, Japan launched a massive assault to capture Midway Atoll and break American resistance once for all. Japanese commanders believed their victory was guaranteed. They assumed the American fleet was exhausted, their carriers weakened, and their pilots inexperienced. They never imagined that a group of slow, clumsy Avengers was about to alter the course of the entire war. When the first Avenger squadron took off from Midway's airfield, many of the pilots were young, and some had never faced real combat. They knew the sky would be filled with danger, and many realized they might not return. Yet the Avenger pressed forward, heavy and determined toward the Japanese fleet. As soon as Japanese radar detected them, Zero fighters shot up into the sky like arrows, ready to tear them apart. Japanese pilots believed it would be easy. Crushing Avengers was like target practice. But what happened next surprised even them. The Avenger's sturdy frame absorbed punishment far better than expected. Its tough steel structure, thick armor plates, and committed pilots bought precious minutes that changed the war. While Zeros tangled with the Avengers, American dive bombers climbed high above the Japanese fleet. Then, in one devastating strike, they plunged down and turned the carriers Akagi, Kaga, and Soryu into burning wrecks. The turning point of the Pacific War was born from the sacrifice of those so-called ugly, slow planes. Most Avengers did not make it back that day. But the United States Navy instantly recognized their true value. This aircraft was not a lumbering mistake, it was the key to future victory. In the months that followed, the Avenger received upgraded engines, improved radar systems, and more effective torpedoes. Surprisingly, the same Japanese Navy that once mocked it soon began to fear it. With its long-range and powerful onboard search radar, the Avenger hunted submarines, convoys, and warships relentlessly. It didn't just sink ships, it shattered Japanese strategy from within. During the battles of the Solomons, the Marianas, the Philippines, and Okinawa, the Avenger became the backbone of American naval power. Japanese sailors wrote in their reports that seeing an Avenger overhead felt like a warning of certain disaster. The laughter was gone, replaced with fear. As the war intensified, the Avenger evolved into a multi-role weapon unlike anything the Japanese possessed. Its thick armor allowed it to withstand hits that would destroy lighter aircraft. Pilots often returned to base with their Avengers full of bullet holes, yet still flying strong. Its radar and range allowed it to patrol vast distances. Its torpedoes crippled destroyers, cruisers, and supply ships. By 1944, the Avenger had become a nightmare for Japan's Navy, a machine that hunted them across thousands of miles of ocean. Even during the final destruction of the super battleship Yamato, Avengers played a major part, dropping torpedoes that sealed the fate of Japan's last symbol of naval pride. After the war ended, diaries and testimonies from Japanese officers revealed something remarkable. They admitted that the Avenger had been one of the most underestimated threats of the entire conflict. What they once mocked as a slow, ugly plane had become a symbol of American industrial strength, a machine not built for beauty, but for winning a war of endurance. Today, historians agree that the TBF Avenger didn't just take part in the Pacific War, it helped rewrite it. It transformed the skies, shattered supply lines, and delivered blows from which the Japanese Navy never recovered. The aircraft that once drew laughter ultimately became the very tool that silenced it forever.